So, Erasmus Darwin. He was born 1731, died 1802, and he was something of a character. Now, he was involved in what was called the Midlands Enlightenment, and of course this is when the Industrial Revolution was in full swing, so all kinds of people were coming up with all kinds of things, and Erasmus was slap bang in the middle of that, and he came up with quite a lot of really curious inventions. For example, the rocket engine. He had two tanks of hydrogen and oxygen connected with plumbing into an elongated nozzle, and came up with the rocket engine, and that didn't see the light of day until over a century later. But one of the things that he came up with was a kind of windmill that he invented for his grandson Josiah Wedgwood. His other grandson, of course, was, depending on your point of view, the famous or infamous Charles Darwin. So Erasmus was a man of his time, but incredibly inventive, and what we're interested in, or at least what I'm interested in, is his windmill. It had some really interesting features. Now, if you noticed on the drawing, what we had was kind of louvres, and if the wind hit the louvre, it would open. What I've got here, of course, is some flap vents meant for exhaust in washing machines and tumble dryers. So this sits on the wall like that. When the tumble dryer blows out, it opens. So the idea Erasmus had was to create a tower of these. When the wind hits the surface of the tower, it will blow it open. But if you have another one sitting opposite, then this will blow open, but this will blow shut, and of course the wind has only got one way to go, and that is upwards. Now Erasmus did his in an octagon, and an octagon makes sense because it can take a lot of wind directions. We've actually got 4 of these, so we're going to make a square to build a model of the Darwin wind turbine and see how it does. So I haven't done anything particularly clever here. All I've done is taken 8 of those flat vents, stack them on top of each other, glue them onto the board in a square. Like I say, Erasmus actually had an octagon, we've got a square. And I'm going to put a fan on it and we'll see what happens. So it does exactly what Erasmus said it would do. When the wind hits these vents, they open, but because these ones are facing in the same directions, the wind hits here, they open, and because they open inward, these vents here on the other side also want to open inward, but the wind's now hitting them, so they slam shut, and the only place the wind has got to go is up through here. Now, the benefit of something like this is obviously we've got a large wind capture area that we're directing the wind in a single channel, so Erasmus stuck a turbine on the top of there, a windmill, and that's what we're going to do. So to do that, I've got a piece of timber with a hole in it, and that's going to go on there, and then I've got one of these. It's a PC fan I've adapted to be a generator, and I've done quite a few videos on how to do that, and that PC fan is going to go on the hole. So the only place that wind can go once it gets in here is up through that PC fan, and it should generate. So we'll hot glue those down. That's really cool. So there it is. There's Darwin's wind turbine, and if we put a bit of a fan on it so we get a bit of wind, then we'll see that it generates. Now, with something like this, it's not a question of how much it generates. We just want to know that it generates, and it generates better than without the wind structure. So we turn that on. Got an LED. There you go. So it does about 2.5, 3 volts like an LED. It's a few milliamps that it kicks out because of this is so tiny, but it does perform better than if I just held that there. And of course the reason why is we've got this much bigger area of air that we're capturing. So we're capturing that air. It's getting enclosed in the tower, and it's being forced to shoot up here through our wind generator, and it is better than just having the fan by itself because it's a bigger surface area of air that it's capturing. Anyway, there is a quick model of Darwin's wind turbine. That's structurally all you do, except prefer it being in an octagon, but pretty cool. He was clearly a man ahead of his time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and please do remember to like and subscribe.